First off, yes, first off on the docket for today on the show, we're talking about AAU basketball, and it is a topic commodity here as we are getting ready for. As first off, the travel season has already started, so that's the big thing. The big thing there is AAU. So, of course, when you take a look at AAU right now, the way the state it is right now, and you take a look at it. So overall, AAU basketball right now is currently up for players. It allows players to join, whether AAU is allowing them to join based upon on getting exposure, getting better, or just keeping something occupied for the players. Of course, before we get deep cut into this point, we're here to tell you that, guys, we're not here to tell your kids no. That's not what we're saying. We're not here to bash coaches either. I already seen it on Twitter already. I'm just like, okay, cool. So we are not bashing anybody whatsoever. So we just wanted to get that out there before before my inbox is full of hate from AAU coaches. So first off, AAU right now is in the hands. It's dictating the future of high school hoops. And here's why. High school hoops in the state of Texas at the moment it's currently up in the air right now. There's high school football folks that we talk to and listen to on the shows, and it's saying that they're kind of uncertain about what's going to happen for the future of football right now. They're a little bit concerned, but their concerns grew over the weekend. Well, of course, when you see coronavirus news about schools suspending their summer constricted conditioning workout plans because of kids getting of course, testing positive for coronavirus. And of course, that's a little bit concerning for the basketball side of things as well. But also, when we look at it from a whole scale of events, you are seeing that basketball, it's hard to stay healthy throughout the season. I will say that. But the biggest thing about basketball whenever it gets affected by illness is the flu. The flu bug is the killer in about mid to late December through January. Sometimes if it's in February as well. A long time basketball fans will remember 2 years ago there was a big old flu bug across the state. There was 2 games had to get canceled, rescheduled, and sometimes those were even district games to where scheduling was so much tougher because teams had to play 3 district games of the week on that week, and that's kind of a little scheduling nightmare. And that's something you could potentially see with basketball if we tend to happen to have a season going forward. So we're a little bit concerned about that as well in terms of that. But here's what the AAU standpoint is upon that. If a player tests positive while they're on the AAU circuit, that's a different thing. And that's because, we're not trying to harp on everybody saying that, oh, well, y'all just bashing on AAU. No, we're not. What we're saying is AAU right now, it's gonna get the spotlight right now because we're seeing the cases spike up and cases for coronavirus in the States, and that's not a good sign for us basketball hoop heads. Overall, when you take a look at the overall, right now there's no active cases and from AAU players or coaches, organizers, and the sort. That's good. That's a good positive sign we like to see. We want to continue seeing that. However, main thing is we can't tell players no because of this safety issue right now that's probably happening at the moment is the safety issue of we can't tell players no. That's the main thing we're focusing on. You tell parents will have to. It's their responsibility to tell kids. If you're playing in an AAU circuit, it is it's great, but also the dangers right now of saying you have a pretty good chance of getting exposed to the disease as well. Also, all guidelines, of course, are coming from the state government and all that, but also it's up to the tournament organizers to enforce those guidelines as well. And I saw a few photos. There are fans in the gyms, and that was a bit concerning to me about AAU tournaments and having all that there. But the big thing is, most of those fans were not wearing masks, and that's what's concerning me is we're not caring enough about the high school game that we're just caring enough about the AAU game, and that's it. Whatever happens to the high school game, we don't care. That's the emphasis I'm getting to as point of as the fan base there of the AAU circuit. There is, AAU guys don't really care much about the high school game because they don't make any money. Let's be honest. But also, a lot of these tournaments are money grab, cash grabs kind of tournaments. I will say that. So that's the big thing about AAU sometimes. It's cash grab, money grab, finance. As long as the guys are getting money, it's up to them as well. But also, it's important that we need to be staying safe and taking the right steps and the right precautions in order for us to continue to have a high school season there. And of course, like we mentioned, we're not bashing travel coaches, AAU coaches, any kind of that kind of league ball. But we're just playing devil's advocate with them because look, what could essentially happen down the road is you could get, because you're gonna play what if here. What if we had a player test positive during the game, and they didn't know that, and that player did not know until after. What if a coach tests positive and he or she did not know until after the tournament? What if a fan tests positive inside a complex? And also it could lead to after the event, what if either player, coaches, or fans, test positive after the events? And this is not just for AAU folks. This is the collegiate team camps and everything. We're not saying do not attend. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you can please be careful whenever you attend these events, because sometimes a lot of these places that you're going to do not really have set guidelines so far, and that's concerning for us on this side of the spectrum here. We are all followers of the high school game over here at txatvb.com, but we're saying, we need to be safe. We need to find a way to get the high school game back in a safe way. Now, a lot of boys teams got their state tournament experience taken away this year. That is unfortunate. But unfortunately for the girls' side, we have finished before the coronavirus swarmed in the states. That's a good positive sign to see. But so far what we know at this moment is no positive cases have come up from AAU events, and that is good to see, and we continue to hopefully seeing that happen. But overall, keep an eye out for this point here. We're gonna have this segment up on our website as well, but also continue to make this. We're gonna make this point clear. AAU coaches, if you're listening, if watching, by the way, if you're any point in time, please note that a lot of attention is going to be on you for the next 2 months, because we haven't had basketball, we have no NBA, no WNBA, no college. There was no college finish at all. It's all in your hands, and whatever bad happens to you, what in terms of your event, whether a kid tests positive, coach, fan, etc., your complex is going to be spotlighted in that kind of light, and not in a negative light. I'm not saying that, but just saying, it's gonna be spotlighted somehow in some way. I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad way, but overall, as a whole, I feel like we need to do a much more better part for AAU events to happen, but happen in a safe environment. Is what we're trying to get our point across to here. So, nonetheless, if you're at an AAU event, team camp event this past weekend, we hope you were safe. We hope please get a yes. By the way, if you were at an AAU event, team camp event, please get a coronavirus test. But you may never know. You may never know if you are positive or not. Sometimes the smallest side effect can lead to a positive test, and that the slightest thing can turn to a positive test. And we hope that you turn out to be negative. That'd be a good thing. But overall, we want everyone, from the fans, coaches, players, organizers, etc. to be safe, and that's what we're praising here. So there's our soapbox of the week in terms of that point there.